Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and today I am surrounded by my boyfriend's plants. Yes, he owns a few house plants and I thought I would share them with you. He doesn't want to be in camera, like even when I show pictures of stuff that's going on outside or different things like that, he always asks, I'm not in that picture, am I? I'm not in that. Will you take me out of that? And I, obviously I'm going to respect that. He doesn't want to be on camera, doesn't want to do a video. Maybe one day, but right now, the only representative we have for him are his plants. And I did tell him I was going to do this video and he was like, make sure you tell him about the plants outside too. So, my boyfriend isn't like into house plants. I'm more the one that's into house plants. Although he does have some, and one here that's trying to steal my thunder. Is that better? Anyway, he likes outdoor plants more. Like if we had a lot of room, like I think we do have a decent sized yard for a two-person household that wants to garden. I think we have a decent amount of space, especially because we're both very beginners as far as outdoor stuff goes. So he likes that kind of stuff, loves growing tomatoes, loves growing peppers, watermelons, different melons of different kinds. He likes just to experiment with that kind of stuff. But every now and then, a plant catches his fancy and he's just like taken with it and he'll be obsessed with it. His approach to plants, for me, what it seems like is too cool for school. Like he likes the plant, but he doesn't want to come off like he loves it. So that's the vibe I get. Like he likes the plant, but he doesn't want to like seem like he likes the plant. You know what I mean? Like he wants to act like he doesn't care, but I think he really likes them. Anyway, does that make any sense? So I am going to show you the plants he does own and the plants he's like crazy about. He named all of them. And then I'm also going to show you the plants he has outside. So yeah, the first one, let's start with the aloe. So if there was ever a house plant that he just loved, I feel like it's always been aloe. And this plant is one that we have had for a long time. We've actually had this since we lived in an apartment. So this aloe's over 2 years old. I want to say it's at least 3 years old at this point. And you have seen this before. I love this plant. It's one of my favorite plants that we have in the house, even though it's not mine. It does need water. So I waited until this plant needed water so I could show you what it looks like, because the key to this plant just thriving and growing and not dying is under watering. This plant can go a very long time without water. I want to say all of fall and winter. I don't think this plant got watered once, but now that it's really warm, and if you saw my other video, the air conditioner hasn't been working in this house until about 3 days ago, literally. So the room that this plant lives in, the thermostat in there regularly said 85 to 90 degrees. Like it was hot. It was hot, and we had the fans on, so like warm air was blowing everywhere. It was crazy. So all of the plants were drying out extra fast, including this one. I've actually been kind of shocked that in the last maybe 2 months, I think this has gotten watered at least twice already, and it needs water again. So most of the time, I mean, this plant is so beautiful. Look at it. So it has these long like arm type things with all these little, they look like spikes, but they're really, really soft. They're not gonna poke you. And then it has all these white polka dots on it. The growth, the way it grows is so cool. But most of the time, the plant should have, it should be thick. It should be thick and firm. Maybe a little bit of give, because obviously there's aloe in there and it's like a gel type of consistency. But for the most part, this should be firm. But this does need water, and obviously you can tell because these arms are deflated. They look like there's no aloe in there at all. So we kind of wait. I know I say we as if it's my plant. He usually waits until I tell him like, oh my God, that plant needs water. I wait until the little arms look like there's no aloe vera in them. I don't wait for the whole plant to look like that, not even close, because then the plant might be too far gone. But all the ones on the bottom, I wait for at least a few of them to seem like there's no aloe in them at all. Like it just looks like skin. They look depleted and they look thin. And then I put this in water and give it a soak, like it's never soaked before. I'll usually leave it the whole entire day sitting in a basin of water. I make sure it is completely drenched flooded with water. It will like perk back up. It's so cool to see. And then it'll sit there for a couple of months not needing water again. So if you're struggling with aloe, you're probably watering it too much. This plant will be okay. I don't want to say like low light, but it'll be okay in any kind of area in your house. We've had this in the kitchen before with no light at all, and it did great. This plant actually, I want to say it was a 4-inch pot when he bought it. And it was one of those ones at the store that's like tipped over and looks all sad. He bought it just to like rescue it. And I love this. It's growing a bunch of new little babies in there, and I keep asking him if I could have one. I'm like, can I have? Can I have? I even bought my own aloe because I was so jealous of this aloe. I bought my own aloe. It quickly died. I bought another one, and I keep that aloe next to this one because I feel like the little baby aloe that I bought will feel inspired to grow. I don't know. I know we all do weird gardening things like that, but that's what I do. I put that plant here as an inspiration so it won't die. But I am gonna go water this right after this video, and these little arms will just plump back up. So they're not gonna stick up straight like this because they're a little bit older, but they are gonna get really thick and juicy and firm again, like they should be. All right, you're gonna go down here for now. I love that plant so much. It's so cool. Okay, so that's the plant he's had for the longest. And then the next plant he got was this one, and this is actually one that I bought for him. I feel like I'm way too far away, or way too close. Okay, so that was the first plant that he bought. He bought that on his own. And then this is the second plant that I bought for him, and it is a Raven ZZ plant. We actually just watered this. I think he watered it, I don't know, a couple days ago. Like it's still heavy with water, and it's super sturdy and firm right now. So I bought him this plant. I honestly don't know why I bought it. I bought it because it was on clearance, and I just really wanted him to have a house plant. Even though he already had the aloe, I wanted him to have something else. And I bought this even though I hated ZZ plants at the time. I didn't understand the appeal of them. This was on clearance at Walmart for $8. I got it, I want to say it was the year before last. It was 2021, I think. Anyway, he loved it right away. I did repot it, and I put it in this black pot because the plant is really dark. He named it Edgar, and the only light this plant gets is from a little Christmas night light that I still have plugged in the kitchen that turns on at night. It's one of those kind of lights. So it'll get that little night light throughout the night. Did you hear that bar I just dropped? Anyway, and then it'll get like ambient light throughout the day because we have a skylight in the kitchen, but it sits under the cabinet, so it's not in the highest of light. But this thing just puts out new growth constantly, and he's always coming over here and rubbing it in my face about how cool his Raven ZZ is. So you know what I did? I went and bought my own Raven ZZ because I was so jealous, and I was like, that plant is beautiful. I'm gonna buy my own. And I do have it, and it's sitting right down there. And every time his is growing a new one, you know what I do? I run and go get mine, and I'm like, look at my new growth. Like, what is that? I don't know. It's just fun anyway. But yeah, this is his second plant. I bought it for him, and he loves it. He really likes this plant a lot. He looks at it every day, because I mean, it's right there in the kitchen where we see every day, and he shakes it like this, and I don't know. He has an interesting gardening style, but it's working, and the plant's doing great. Okay, the next plant that he owns is one I'm sure some of you guys have already seen. This is Mabel, the golden pothos, I think. I mean, I really don't know what kind of plant this is, but I feel like it's a golden pothos. I did just put this stick on it just now. He didn't have this there, and I'm hoping he doesn't mind I did that. But the vine was just leaning up against the wall, and I didn't want to keep holding the vine up the whole time, so I put a stick in it just to kind of keep it, I don't know, stable, I guess. But this plant is very beautiful, and I'm going to tell you a quick story about this plant and the next one. It's the same story, but anyway, look how beautiful that is. I love this plant. Again, I'm so jealous of it. But let me tell you why he bought this, because I was kind of confused about it. We were at a local nursery looking for plants outside, for outside plants. And I was on a no-buy. This was back in May when I wasn't buying any plants at all. But of course I still looked, and I saw this plant there, and I was like, oh my God, if I wasn't on a no-buy, I would get that plant so bad. I stayed in the greenhouse looking at it for a long time. I kept picking it up, and I was like, oh, if I could just buy it, I would feel better. But I didn't buy it. I left and he said, oh, did you find anything? And I said, well, there was this one plant. If I wasn't on a no-buy, I would get it. And I think I'm gonna come back and get it on June 1st. And he said, which one is it? And he bought it. And I thought he was gonna give it to me after the no-buy was over. And he didn't. He like named it. He checks on it all the time. He's obsessed with all these new leaves it's growing. And he never gave it to me. And I don't know why I thought he was going to. But yeah, once he named it, I was like, oh, that's his plant. Like I never asked, like, is that gonna be mine or what's up with that plant? But he loves this plant so much. It's so beautiful. All this variegation on the leaves is really nice. And it puts out leaves constantly. And it's just beautiful. Like this color of green with that yellow. It's so, so beautiful. Again, I'm jealous. I'm gonna go buy my own Mabel and you'll see. You'll all see. Okay, and the last indoor plant has the same story as Mabel. So we were at Trader Joe's and they have some really good plants there. If you have a Trader Joe's where you live, check out the house plants. Sometimes they're in the back of the store, sometimes they're in the front, but they always have good ones and they are the best prices around. Anyway, this big boy right here, this is an alocasia that we can't figure out the name of, but after a lot of internet research, I think it's called Imperial Red, but I'm not certain, but that's what we're going with for now. And I'll show you it a little closer. But when we walked in, they had this huge table, this big sign that said alocasias. I want to say they were $12.99, which is a freaking steal for how big they were. Tons of great varieties. And I picked this one up and I went, oh my God, I have to have it. And I carried it around for a while and then I kept thinking like, where the heck am I gonna put it? Because a big plant like this, I would want to put it on my table where all of my alocasias are, right there under the window. They're all doing really well there. So I want to put them all in the same spot. And this is like a big planter and it just wasn't gonna fit and it was gonna be too heavy. So I put it back and he said, just get it. And I said, no, I don't have a spot for it. It's fine. I'll just appreciate that it exists. I don't have to buy it. And then he picked it up and bought it. And I kept thinking, is he buying it for me? But I didn't ask because I didn't want to assume that it was for me, but he didn't give it to me. I kind of figured it was his plant and he named it Elvira. And this is Elvira, the Imperial Red alocasia, I think. If it's different, please let me know. But this leaf shape, I'm so jealous. I wish I had bought my own. This stupid sideburns hair drives me crazy. I am so jealous of this plant. Like, look at that freaking leaf. It has these scalloped edges. And this like dark pink stem. This plant is so gorgeous. It also is putting out this new leaf right here. I think the new growth maybe was this big when we bought it, and this was maybe a week ago. I want to say we bought this last weekend. And this new leaf is already getting so big, it's unfurling. It's gonna be the biggest leaf on the plant. But look at this freaking leaf. I mean, it's such a freaking work of art. This is one of my favorite plants that we have in the house right now. And I wish it was mine. I wish it was mine, but it's his, and I'm not jealous. Anyway, so yeah, those are all the house plants he has, but I'm gonna show you real quick what outdoor plants he has. All right, and then these are the pepper plants that he has growing out here. I know a lot of these he started from seed. I want to say all the ones in the terracotta pots were seeds. And I know it's a little mixture of some. There are some Carolina Reaper peppers in here, some habanero. I think that's what this one is. Like, isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, so cute. There are some jalapenos, I think, in here, and I think some Thai dragons, and then that's a tomato right there. He loves these pepper plants. I love them too. I love the way they look all grouped together. I love these terracotta pots. They're so nice. And then that one, I don't remember what that one is. I don't remember if he bought that or if we just planted it in that pot, but I don't remember what it is. But these are the cutest little plants ever. A lot of them he did start growing like over the winter time, and brought them outside during the spring, and they just like transformed. Like the leaves look totally different and everything. I love these plants a lot. I always tell him I want them. I go, can I has? Can I has? So he has not only those plants that are in those pots, but he has watermelon in the ground, tomatoes, a bunch of melons, a bunch of different things growing. But the ones in the pots are like his pride and joy babies because he grew them from seed. They're so beautiful. I love the way they look. I love the leaf shape, the color of the leaves, so beautiful. Anyway, that is it. Those are my boyfriend's plants and a little bit of story behind each one. But yeah, that is it. Those are my boyfriend's plants. Let me know if you have a partner or someone you live with, your significant other, that isn't really into plants, but you're like really into them and it's kind of rubbing off on them a little bit. Let me know. I would love to know. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.